You walk into a room and something shifts. Not outside, inside. A quiet voice appears before anyone has said a single word to you, and it starts making a case against you. You don't know why. You just suddenly feel smaller. And here's the strange part. You've been in rooms like this before. You've handled hard things. You've done the work. But the feeling doesn't care about your resume. So the question isn't whether you lack confidence. The question is, why does your brain manufacture doubt in the exact moments you need clarity the most? That answer lives deeper than motivation. Deeper than habit. And when you understand it, everything changes. Iskai mutabik image ka. Prompt. Do sentence by sentence images. Generatai karkai do. Most people experience confidence as something that either shows up or doesn't. Like weather. You wake up and either you have it or you spend the day working around the absence of it. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You second guess the email after you send it. You say less than you mean in meetings. You smile and agree when something in you wants to push back. And the cruelest part? It rarely happens in private. It happens in front of the people whose opinions matter to you. Psychologists call this social evaluative threat. The brain perceives being judged by others as a survival-level event, not metaphorically. Neurologically, the brain processes social rejection through the same pathways as physical pain. So when you go quiet in a room full of people, you're not being weak. Your brain is running an ancient protection program designed to keep you safe from exile. The problem is, the program was written for a world that no longer exists. Here's what most confidence advice gets wrong. It tells you to feel confident before you act, but that's not how the brain works. Confidence is not a feeling you summon. It's a conclusion your brain reaches based on evidence it collects from your behavior, which means the doubt you carry isn't a character flaw. It's a data problem. Your brain has been watching you shrink in certain situations, and it has quietly filed that as, this is who we are here. You are not broken. You are operating on outdated information, and there is a way to rewrite the file. Let's go one layer deeper. Your brain has two operating systems running in parallel. The first is fast, reactive, emotional. Neuroscientists call it the limbic system, centered around the amygdala. This is the part that scans a room in under 200 milliseconds and decides safe or threat. The second system is slower, rational, language-based. The prefrontal cortex, the part that can reason, plan, and regulate. Here's the problem. When the amygdala fires, when social threat is perceived, it partially hijacks the prefrontal cortex. Your words get foggy. Your thinking narrows. You freeze, or shrink, or perform. This is called amygdala hijack, a term coined by psychologist Daniel Goleman. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to give a calm speech while someone in the back of the room is pulling the fire alarm. That's your nervous system in those moments. The alarm isn't real, but the sound is loud, and your brain responds to the sound, not to reality. Now here's the mental model worth keeping. Confidence is not the absence of the alarm. Confidence is learning to speak through the noise. There are 5 principles that work directly with your brain's architecture, not against it. The first is, regulate before you respond. When you feel that social threat activate, pause before you perform. 3. Slow breaths. Not as a ritual, but as neuroscience. Slow exhalation activates the parasympathetic nervous system, physically reducing cortisol and pulling the amygdala out of high alert. This is called vagal toning. Before you speak in a meeting, take one quiet breath, not to gather courage, to lower the biological noise. You are not calming your nerves, you are changing your brain chemistry in real time. The second principle, use the body to signal status. Research at Harvard points to something real. Your posture sends signals to your own brain before it signals anything to others. The mechanism is this. Upright, open posture reduces cortisol and creates a mild increase in testosterone, the hormones of calm assertiveness. Before a difficult conversation, stand or sit fully upright for 90 seconds. Not to look powerful, to feel less threatened. Your body is part of your brain. What you do with it shapes what you think. The third principle, speak to contribute, not to impress. Most people lose confidence the moment they start performing. The shift happens subtly. You stop speaking to give and start speaking to get approval. Psychologist Heidi Grant calls this the prevention focus. Your motivation shifts from moving toward a goal to avoiding a loss, and the brain under prevention focus becomes risk-averse, hesitant, small. In any conversation, ask yourself, what does this person actually need to hear? The moment your attention moves off yourself and onto the other person, your self-consciousness drops. Not because you forced it, because your brain has a new job. The fourth principle, name what you feel. Neuroscience research by Matthew Lieberman at UCLA shows that labeling an emotion reduces amygdala activation. It's called affect labeling. When you internally say, I feel anxious right now, the prefrontal cortex re-engages. You don't need to announce it. You just need to name it to yourself. Before a presentation, instead of trying to suppress the nervousness, quietly note it. I'm nervous. My hands are slightly cold. That's information. The brain stops fighting what it's already acknowledged. The fifth principle, let influence be a byproduct. The most influential people in any room are usually not trying to be influential. Robert Cialdini's research on social proof and liking shows that genuine interest and calm consistency create more persuasive impact than charisma or force. The brain of the person you're speaking with is constantly asking, do I trust this? Does this person have an agenda? In any conversation, listen slightly longer than feels comfortable. Ask one more question before sharing your view. Influence comes to those who are fully present. Presence is disarming, and disarming is quietly the most powerful thing you can be in a room. Here's the mental model to take with you. Confidence is not a personality trait. It's a regulatory skill. It's the practiced ability to notice when the alarm is going off and choose what you do in the next 5 seconds. Regulate the body. Name the feeling. Shift attention outward. Speak to contribute. Let presence do what force cannot. These are not steps to memorize. They are corrections, small redirections your brain learns over time. And each time you practice one, you give your brain new evidence to file, new conclusions to reach, a new version of who we are here. There's a version of you that has already handled hard things. That version didn't wait to feel ready. It just moved, one small, honest step at a time. Confidence was never about the absence of doubt. It was always about what you chose to do while the doubt was still there. The room doesn't need you to be louder. It needs you to be present. And the difference between those two things is the whole distance between performing confidence and actually having it. You already have the capacity. You just needed to understand what you were working with.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.